I mean, he's obviously watched the stream a couple of times, but we are in a brand new match, and it's the first best of 3 of the day for the OlimoLeague, or pardon me, the legacy of the OlimoLeague. Spawning here in the top right corner of the map, this guy's been on talk shows, he's had ideas and suggestions about balance, he's a pretty smart cookie. It's the red Zerg player, Jona.
The bottom right says the blue Terran, it's Ryung.
Now, it's fair to say Jonah's got a pretty good idea about the game outside of his own race, as once again, he did just finish playing in our Fancy Days Celebration Archon of the Hill tournament, and he played with Euthermal as Terran. They both won their first match, lost their second, so I don't know how much he had control over the game, but even just getting to sit back and watch gives you a pretty good idea of how Terran plays.
Yeah, sure. It's just... Unless Jona does something sneaky that, Ryung has to respond to, it is just kind of a normal game. You could literally play a normal TVZ and actually do pretty well. I mean, Widowmines are kind of in a tricky spot right now where no one's really making them because there's so many other things you can do with the factory now. But if you do remember to make them, they're so good. They didn't get, nerfed or anything.
Yeah, it's... I agree. So what do you think this goes? Cactus Valley, you've seen a lot of really cool play on this one, whether it involves taking thirds, going for fourths. This is one of the maps, I think, on both Heart of the Swarm and Legacy of the Void, we have yet to be disappointed with when it comes to games. So, I don't know, it's so wild and crazy, and no one's good at predicting anything, but you are like a, I don't know, you've got the third eye, you're like an oracle. What do you think's coming down this game, Zombie Grub?
I don't know. I mean, we already have Ryung going for double gas. I mean, even before a factory is put down, he gets both. So, I don't know, up to Banshees, or maybe he's going to try a tank drop. Jona, on the other hand, I think will go for Mutas.
I would love if at the Axiom House, because again, for those who don't know context real quick, Ryung said this is going to be his first time playing Legacy of the Void. I wonder if he just kind of goes like, yo, MMA, big bro, like, what do I do? Give me some Terran advice here. You've been playing a lot of Legacy of the Void. Or if he just sits at his computer and is like, you know what? I'm just going to dive into it head first and see what happens.
Well, just making a lot of Marines. He is getting that factory for Hellions. Hellions, they were questionable in the beginning of Legacy of the Void till like a week ago. Because so many people were opening up with Roaches and Ravagers, like how useful were they really? But it's gone back. They're still pretty useful. People aren't always opening up with Roaches.
It is. I feel though like Ravager rushes right now are kind of... I mean, it's not what he's doing, but it's one of those things where, as a Terran player, the same way you have to kind of build against Oracles, you, to an extent, if you don't scout, have to kind of assume it's going to be Ravager rushes. Normally, a bunker wouldn't hold against that for very long, at least, but Ryung is going to find himself a little bit lucky. Jona not being a total scumbag, and going, what is it, Banelings?
Well, I think he's going for fast Mutas, the Banelings defensive structure. He can also, I mean, use that Baneling nest offensively. Sure, once he has the Mutas, you draw him out and then you attack. Bly showed us how to do that a couple of days ago on Legacy of the Void, but it's a very Heart of the Swarm maneuver.
Well, the map does have a little bit of funky wall. Not only does it not look like a total wall off when it's complete, it doesn't require as much. In fact, I think this might be the thinnest natural-based wall that you need on any map.
Yeah, even Habitation Station, which had a pretty narrow ramp, required 3 supply depots in a bunker.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool that you can put so little into it. Because one of the big things is, I think the biggest thing for Terrans, and I don't know the new timings in Legacy of the Void, obviously, so you have Heart of the Swarm, you want that 6-minute wall off if you're worried about Roach All-ins coming early. Kind of hard to do when you got to put down like 2 depots and a bunker on each side. Legacy of the Void, you can just get away with those 3 buildings. It's quite nice. Anyways, Ling's going to chase into the Hellions. They're actually not getting that much done here for poor Ryung.
Yeah, interesting decision to go ahead and do that. Basically, any amount of Lings will help out significantly against a Hellion run-by. Even 4 will deal enough damage, because Hellions are surprisingly light, and as long as you focus fire a little bit with the Queens, as he did, you don't lose too much. So, gives away most of the Hellions, but it looks like he might be going into Mag. Oh, he actually might get the drone kills, going to the Spine Crawler and a spread, which is pretty good.
And then splits.
Okay, well, good thing those died.
He did see the Spire, though. And while he's got more factories on the way to play Mech, I am curious if he's going to try and go for the Cyclone, if he goes for Thors. I kind of feel right now with where the game's at. Early game, a Cyclone is way better than a Thor, but obviously you're going to need a Thor too at some point in the matchup.
Oh, he's in an engineering bay thinking that he needs it for turrets.
Oh, Ryung, you scrub. That is actually one of the cool changes, again, for those like Ryung who have not played Legacy of the Void before. One of the things is you actually do not need an engineering bay for missile turrets anymore. It comes off of your barracks. So that's actually really flippin' awesome, but also kind of sucks because you just wasted all that money.
Yes, he did. 125 minerals down the drain. It'll be useful later on for when he gets a 4th base into planetary. It could have been delayed quite a bit.
Could have been an an extra turret. I'm just saying.
It could have been, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the Viking's not going to see the Banelings at the front door. Jona should be able to take down that bunker with this, but the question is, can he do much else? Because he's just opening the door for Hellions to run into.
Yeah.
Ling's just going to get fried alive.
Seems very pointless to do this, so I'm not sure what he's waiting for. Maybe he thinks that it's going to be bio, but even then, all of the banelings that will be used on the supply depot, and even a handful of Marines will be able to take care of 6 lings.
I like this missile turret placement. It's just going to be really hard for Jona to find any free damage opportunities. Looks like the bus did go off at the front. Sorry about the guys following the mutas to see where they were going to go. Because we knew that this was not going to do much. It would tear down the depots and the bunker, but he just didn't have a follow-up to it. Now if there's 18 roaches sitting out here and a bunch of lings, that's a whole nother can of worms.
He did delay his Evo chambers, and actually he's going to go ahead and get a Roach Warren, noticing that it is mech.
Small note, by the way, guys, Top is currently streaming with like less than 50 viewers. You should absolutely go to his stream, spam some BaseTradeTV love, but also watch his series versus MMA, because I don't believe it's being cast by anybody. Spam some Ace 1s and some Ace 2s while you're there.
Ryung is going to go ahead and push, it looks like. Not want to throw down his 3rd without having some presence on the map, which I think is certainly wise. He has a decent-sized army, and it's more that Jona just doesn't have a lot of roaches.
Yeah, but Ryung's army, this is an awkward Legacy of the Void push is what it is. It's not quite that 150 supply, but it is no new units, no Cyclones, no siege tanks with medevacs picking up and dropping them. It's something that Jona should, I think, if he gets those roaches, I should be able to deal with. Problem is, doesn't have them out yet. Mito's gonna find it hard to dance around these Thors. 2 of them will be a good chunk of damage. And I'm surprised Ryung actually didn't go kill more of those drones. I guess looking for blood here in the natural instead. Queens, we've got quite a few transfuses. No overseers yet, so dealing with the Banshees is going to be difficult. There's a Sport Car you can back up into, but that brings him to the mineral line. And that's where these drones he's trying to protect are.
All the Queens are going down. The Mutas try and get on top of maybe the Banshees, but they just died to the Thors. Yeah. The SCV's repairing. Oh, look at this. None of them died.
Yeah, this is a surprisingly effective push. Such a... we'll call him a noob to the beta. Jona, a little more experienced. I'm surprised he let that happen.